Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to effectively learn with language learning apps. So how you can use them to actually get the most out of them. So if you want to know, then definitely stay tuned. Before we get into this, I want to talk to you guys about the language learning platform Zerapan. Zerapan is an online language platform where you can learn currently English and German. English you can start from scratch from A1 until level C1, and German you can also start from level A1 until level B2, which is an intermediate level. So for both languages, they have very thorough grammar lessons, interactive lessons with video, with speaking exercises, listening exercises. Everything you need to learn for a language is literally in both courses. I tried, for example, the English course as an advanced learner and also the German course as an advanced learner, and I really saw that especially grammar, for example, is explained thoroughly and in depth for you to understand and also apply. So it's not just an app that I would recommend for beginners, but absolutely also for advanced learners in those languages, in either English or German. Another great thing about Zerapan is that it's gamified, but not too gamified. So with every lesson you earn stars, and the more stars you get, the more lessons you can unlock. And as I said, the lessons are very interactive, so you get to actually engage with them. You get to watch videos, answer, speak. So it's not just you ticking off a couple of questions or answers and that's it, but it's very interactive. So basically you get a full course. And with that said, I want to tell you guys that from December 11th until December 14th, you will have 70% off every 12-month subscription and a gift too that you can send to a language buddy. So definitely go and find out more about Zerapan in the description link below. Alright, the first point I want to get into is that obviously language learning apps are nowadays one of the primary means to learn languages. Before, language learning apps were pretty much non-existent and people were more so learning with textbooks and other resources. But nowadays it's become easier to learn with apps because you can simply download them and that's it. But with that also comes kind of like a negative side effect, because a lot of people rely on them too much. For example, I hear people say, oh, I've been using this app for like, I don't know, a couple of months, but I still can't speak. And I'm like, yeah, but because you're basically only using the app, you're not using anything else. So I want to emphasize that language learning apps are a support to help you learn your languages, but they're not the primary source. So you shouldn't treat them as a primary and a sole source for learning your languages. They're not the sole resource for learning a language. So with that said, for example, if you're learning a new language, it's great if you can get into it with an app. But other than the app, you should always have other resources, not too many, but you should have 1 to 2, maybe 3 other resources that you know are helping you to reach your goal in your target language. As a second tip, I want to say that try and engage when you use language learning apps, because you can easily fall into the trap of just being like, you know, automated and just ticking off answers and that's it. Like that, you're not really retaining much. That's why I said about the platform Zerapan that, for example, I liked the fact that you actually have to engage with the exercises. Everything is very well explained. You have to speak, you have to listen, for example, with the video lessons. So there are many factors that play into engaging with the content, because that's basically the main way that you're going to retain what you're learning. Otherwise, you're definitely not learning much, or you'll definitely forget what you're learning. For example, if you have an exercise, try to always repeat out loud what you're currently reading, what you're listening to. With Zerapan, for example, there's always a word, and when they have the word, they will not only pronounce the word, speak out the word, but put it in an actual sentence for you to understand the meaning. That's what I liked about that. You don't get just random words, but the words are always in a meaningful sentence where it's easier for you to actually retain them and learn them. Well, it's better if you repeat what you learned or what you heard. So don't just listen to it and then go over to the next lesson, but try to always repeat. It's like having a virtual teacher basically, and when they're saying something, a sentence, try to always repeat it out loud to yourself. Even if it's weird, you speaking out loud, but it helps so much. As a third tip, I want to tell you that try to be somewhat consistent with the use of a particular app that you're using. Don't try to be all over and use too many, but try to really stick to one app as a resource. Not only the app, of course, other resources as well, but as you're using an app, try to stick to only one, because that will help you to stick to that method of learning. And when you find out that that method is not really for you, then you can maybe try to switch it up with something else. But if you're using an app as a support and not as the main resource, then it should work. You can determine for yourself how often you want to use an app. It's good to always keep it fresh, not, for example, use it once a week and then forget about it for 2 weeks and then use it 5 times and then again forget about it for a whole month. So it's good to be consistent with it, because like that it's also easier to retain what you actually learn. And what you learn within the app is also very useful to try to use it outside of the app. So that's the next point I'm getting to. When I was, for example, learning Italian, I would learn it with an app, but then I would also try to use what I learned within the app outside. So for example, I would try to engage with language partners or listen to people speak, try to speak myself with what I learned on the app. So I'm not just only engaging with the app on the app, but I'm trying to implement everything I learned within the app outside of it. So that's also a way to engage with the content. So those were the main tips I wanted to give you. Of course, there are more tips, but I want to keep this video somewhat short. Those are the most important tips, I think, to really use language learning apps the most effective way, so that it can actually be of great value for you and not just something that you're doing just to do it. If you have other tips, then definitely leave them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.